Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are opening up a file that feels a bit like finding a time capsule.
It really does. We're looking at a stack of documents from 1930, specifically issues of a magazine called The Linking Ring.
Which, if you're not in that world, is basically the official journal for the International Brotherhood of Magicians. It's their trade paper.
Yeah, exactly. But we're not, looking at the big names. We're not talking about the superstars. We're zooming way, way in.
We're going micro. We're looking at the birth and first year of one local club, Rhode Island Ring, number 44.
Right. And just to clarify, in the IBM, that's the International Brotherhood of Magicians, not the tech company, a local chapter is called a ring.
So the whole mission here is to skip the big legends. We're not talking Houdini. We're not talking about the guys on the massive stages in New York.
No, this is the ground level. This is the story of hobbyists meeting in living rooms in, Cranston and Pawtucket, Rhode Island during the Great Depression.
And they're trying to figure out magic tricks that involve bootleggers. It's this amazing slice of life.
It is. You have this group of guys, and yeah, in 1930, it was all guys in this group. And they're dealing with Prohibition, the Depression, and just life, all while obsessing over, thimble tricks and card flourishes.
And the drama in these meeting minutes is, honestly, it's kind of shocking. There are official bans on certain tricks.
Oh, yeah. And there's a guy who sticks a needle into his nose.
Oh, you have to talk about that. And a magician getting in a serious car crash, and a club president who basically holds the members hostage with his vacation stories.
That filibuster.
Ah.
It's just painful to read about. But yeah, to get it, you have to understand the setting.
So let's do that. It's February 7th, 1930. The Depression is kicking in. And in Cranston, Rhode Island, a group of guys get together at the house of a man named Everett Murphy.
And this is the big organizational meeting. Everett Murphy is, he's going to be our guide through all this because he's the secretary. He's the one typing up these reports we're reading.
And right away, the tone isn't like mysterious wizards in a secret chamber.
Not at all. It's so grounded. The first thing he mentions is that he lives with his parents.
And that his parents served the lunch?
Yes. His parents serve the lunch. And you notice that in every single report. Food is the anchor.
It's the social glue.
It is. It's the blankest insight, right?
Yeah.
You strip away the magic, and it's a social club. The reports almost always end with something like, a fine lunch was served. It reminds you, these are just regular people who love this hobby.
Okay, so who are these people eating these sandwiches at Mrs. Murphy's house? If Murphy is our young scribe, who else is in the room?
Well, you've got the leadership. The president is John H. Davison. He's described as one of the oldest men in magic. He's the old school guy.
The elder statesman.
Totally. The guy doing the classic billiard ball manipulations, pure skill. Then you have the vice president, AAA Allman.
What a name.
3 A's. And he's got this great tagline in the report. It says he's the only man with 4 aces in captivity.
In captivity? I love that. Like he hunted them in the wild.
It's pure swagger. So you've got Davison the traditionalist, Allman the card shark, and Murphy the young enthusiast. And they start pretty small, like 15 members in April.
But they grow fast.
They triple in size by September, up to 45 members. There was clearly a real hunger for this kind of thing in 1930.
So they outgrew the living rooms pretty quickly.
Yeah, they had to. They moved from private homes to a place called Wool Sorters Hall in Olneyville Square.
Wool Sorters Hall, you can feel the atmosphere from the name.
Oh, absolutely. It puts you right in that industrial working class world. So now they've got a proper hall, a little stage. So the question becomes, what did their magic shows actually look like?
Right, because it wasn't shiny Vegas magic. It was something else. The word I kept thinking of was visceral.
Visceral is the perfect word. The show was basically split into 2 styles. On one side, you had what they called manipulation.
And for anyone listening who isn't a magician, what does that mean exactly? It's not just card tricks, right?
No, not at all. Manipulation is all about pure dexterity. It's not a secret box. It's about your hands doing impossible things.
Yeah.
Making billiard balls appear and disappear between your fingers, that kind of thing.
And cigarettes. So many cigarettes.
Oh my God, yes. Cigarette manipulation was like the peak of sophistication then. You had guys like Dexter and Art Clark who could, pluck lit cigarettes out of thin air. You have to remember, everyone smoked. So taking this everyday object and making it magical was a huge flex.
But then there's the other side of it, the stuff that's less sophisticated and more, intense. There's a member named Gammons.
Ah, yes, the needle trick.
You have to walk us through this because the way Murphy writes it up is chillingly specific.
It is. The report says Gammons takes a 6-inch steel needle and he pushes it, quote, right into the nose.
And Murphy adds a little parenthetical note there.
He does. He clarifies. Not up the nose, but into it.
And there's a huge distinction. Up the nose is a sideshow stunt. Into the nose sounds like he's piercing the cartilage.
Puncturing something, yeah. So what we'd call geek magic. It's meant to make the audience squirm. And this guy Gammons, he also did hypnotism. He'd do a rigid test and make a member stiff as a board.
It's just such a strange mix. You've got the elegant cigarette magic, then a guy stabbing himself in the face, and then you've got a guy with a puppet.
Havens and his real wooden dummy.
That detail made me laugh. As opposed to, what, imaginary one?
I think real meant, a professional-grade dummy. Ventriloquism was huge back then. And Havens did magic with the dummy. He'd do the miser's dream, catching coins from the air.
Yeah.
We'd use the dummy's hands to do it.
It's just this wonderful, chaotic picture of a variety show in a union hall. But what I love is how the real world keeps creeping in. We mentioned prohibition.
Yeah, you can actually see the alcohol laws influencing the tricks they chose.
How so?
Well, there's a member named Satchel who does the classic wine and water trick. You mix clear liquids, they turn red like wine, then clear again.
But he gives it a little disclaimer.
He does. The report says he refused to call it wine and water. He tells the audience that, quote, since prohibition, it is absolutely impossible to buy wine.
That's hilarious. So tongue-in-cheek.
It's a total inside joke for the room. Everyone there knows where to get wine. But just by acknowledging the law, it makes the trick topical. And then another member, Wood, he did a trick called Find the Bootlegger.
Which sounds amazing.
Right. The whole premise is hiding the bootlegger card away from the cop cards. It's a narrative everyone in that room understood on a gut level.
Okay, so the magic is topical, but what about the club politics? Because this wasn't just a friendly get-together. They were militant about making people perform.
They had a policy they called no dead ones.
No dead ones. That sounds serious.
It was. It meant no dead weight. The report literally says, we will not allow any member to sit there looking on. He must perform.
Wow. That's a lot of pressure. Imagine you just want to hang out and watch. They're like, get on stage.
Well, it created this sink-or-swim culture. It made sure the club was a workshop, not just an audience. It brings something to the table.
But there was one type of trick they specifically banned. They were not allowed to do living and dead tests.
Yeah, this is such a fascinating rule.
First, can you just explain what that is?
Sure. It's a mentalism classic.
Yeah.
A bunch of people write names on paper, slips, some living, one dead. The magician then has to psychically identify the slip with the dead person's name.
So, why ban it? The report doesn't say why.
It doesn't, but you can guess. First, it can be really boring if you see it too many times. It's slow. But more than that, remember the context. This is the tail end of the spiritualism craze.
Where mediums claim to actually talk to the dead.
Exactly. And magicians like Houdini spent years debunking them. So maybe doing a living and dead test felt a little too close to that fraudulent world. Or maybe it was just too grim. They wanted fun. Stop talking about the dead, show us a card trick.
And speaking of critiques, Murphy, the secretary, he doesn't pull any punches in these reports. He records the failures right alongside the successes.
He's brutal.
Yeah.
Even to himself.
Right. There's that one entry where he performs the shell game.
Oh, it's amazing. He writes that he received absolutely no applause, just a few sighs of relief.
Sighs of relief that he was finally done. That is just devastatingly honest.
And he calls out other people, too. A member named Ingram does a big 4-ace trick, and Murphy writes that he suspects Ingram took the patter from Tricks and Chatter.
He's accusing him of plagiarism in the official club minutes.
He is. And then Allman, the VP, tries a card trick, and Murphy notes that it refused to work the first time.
But he does add that it worked 100% the second time.
It shows this place was a lab. It wasn't a polished show. They were trying stuff out, and the feedback was instant and honest.
Now, we have to talk about the big event that looms over the whole summer, the convention.
The IBM convention in Fort Wayne, Indiana. For these guys, that was like going to Mecca.
And you have to remember, getting from Rhode Island to Indiana in 1930, that's not a weekend trip. That's a major expedition.
It's an odyssey, which is why only one guy from Ring 44 made the trip that year. The president, John Davison.
And when he got back, oh boy, did he make sure everyone knew it.
This is the legendary filibuster. It's the August meeting. Davison comes back with like an armful of banners from the convention, and the report says he started talking about his trip at 9:30 p.m.
And then he talked and talked and talked.
Murphy literally repeats the word talked 3 times. You could just feel the agony in the room. It's late, it's August, it's hot. All these guys want to do is show each other card tricks.
And the report has the sarcastic line that the members wouldn't let him stop.
You can practically hear the eye roll as Murphy typed that.
Yeah.
They were just too polite to tell their president to shut up. But, as funny as it is, it shows how isolated they were. Davison was their connection to the wider magic world. He was their internet.
That's a really good point. The gossip he brought back was like currency.
Yeah, and you see that in other reports, too, like from a Boston convention, where the writer describes magicians in tuxedos licking their chops waiting for dinner time. It's so unglamorous.
They're gossiping about who's making money and who is the greatest revolver shot in the world.
Dr. Calkins. And the writer adds, "We'll stay away from his wife."
Smart move.
Yeah.
But amid all this fun and gossip, there's this one report that's a real reality check, a reminder of how dangerous being a performer could be.
Yeah, from the October issue. A report from Ohio about a magician named Carl Springston. It just stops you cold.
A car crash.
A bad one, a head-on collision with 2 trucks. And he was really badly hurt. But the thing the report focuses on is sobering.
His equipment.
His gear. It says his magic equipment was valued at several $1,000s in 1930. That's like the price of a house.
And it was just scattered all over the highway.
A friend had to come and gather it all up. It's just this stark reminder that for the pros, their entire life was in the back of that car. For the guys in Ring 44, it was a hobby. For someone like Springston, one bad turn and your whole livelihood is gone.
It really does raise the stakes. But even back in Rhode Island, you start to see the entrepreneurial spirit of the club.
Well, this is the birth of the magic dealer economy in miniature. You have a guy named Jay Carson, who visits and writes a column called The Gimmick.
Gimmick being the secret device that makes a trick work.
Exactly. But Carson is also really militant about protecting secrets. He has this idea.
A vigilante idea.
Yes. He's so mad about magic secrets being exposed that he suggests forming a group of IBM members to, go and physically confront people and tell them to stop.
It sounds like he wants to start a magic mafia.
It has that vibe, yeah. But then you have the local guys just trying to make a buck. Everett Murphy, our scribe, was selling a trick called Everett's Mental Ringer.
And what about Ingram, the guy who got called out for plagiarism?
He was selling rope for your rope trick, 100 feet for $1.
Hey, that's not a bad deal.
It's a volume business. But my favorite invention by far has to be from that guy named Wood.
The bean blower.
The bean blower. Okay, so get this. Someone picks a card. Wood pulls out a simple kid's toy, a bean blower, and he blows into it. And out shoots a tiny parachute.
A parachute.
A little miniature parachute. It floats down into the audience, and attached to it is a little note that reveals the chosen card.
That is just wonderfully absurd. I love it.
It's pure joy. It's not some complex piece of machinery. It's a bean blower. It just perfectly captures that, boyish, creative, silly spirit of the hobby.
So when you take a step back and look at this whole picture of Ring 44 in 1930, the needles, the filibusters, the bean blowers, what's the big takeaway?
I think it's a portrait of community. We talk about the golden age of magic, and we think of the big posters and grand theaters. But this is the real foundation. It's 45 guys who found a place to belong while the whole world was, falling apart.
It's the fine lunch and the sighs of relief.
Exactly. It's this perfect blend of, serious dedication. They fine people for not performing.
Yeah.
And total, absolute silliness.
Yeah.
They were making jokes about bootleggers and shooting parachutes out of toys.
And that really connects to any hobby community today, doesn't it? Whether it's coding or Dungeons and Dragons or whatever.
100%. That desire to get together, to share your secrets, to show off a little, and to complain about the guy who won't stop talking about his trip, that's universal.
It really is. You can just see them there in Wool Sorters Hall, cigarette smoke in the air.
Allman trying to make his card trick work on the second try.
And John Davison in the corner just clearing his throat, getting ready to launch into another story about Fort Wayne.
While everyone else is just desperately shuffling their cards, praying he'll stop for a second so they can jump in.
And that image just says it all, I think. The enthusiasm of a true hobbyist can be the most exhausting and the most wonderful thing in the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's all the time we have for our deep dive into the archives of Ring 44. Thanks for sharing these secrets with us.
My pleasure.
We will see you on the next deep dive.